Okay, so let's get started here today. Uh, if you will go into the course Blackboard, you'll see that I've uploaded some render assets, render asset folder, and then I've also included this 3D Max file that I've been working on so that you can have a guide in terms of the materials and the setups and how I've put these things together so you can reverse engineer and develop your own little tweaks and get this kind of set up. So there's a couple of things that I want to go over today in terms of making something that's a little bit more realistic and to give you a kind of sense of what I'm doing and what I have been doing is I'll do this quick little render of where we're at in this current state here. Well, you'll notice that I've done is mainly work on tweaking some of the materials, uh, also adding some landscape elements, which are the trees in the background here, and then actually made some grass, and I'm going to show you how to make grass, and then also how to distribute the grass on the surface, which is incredibly helpful. Also did a couple of little tweaks on the glass to make it a little bit nicer. Um, and then also there's a feature in 3D Max that shows how to distribute some people. You can actually animate these, but I'm just using them as kind of scale figures for now. So let's just jump into it. Hopefully you can kind of see what this is going to look like, and we'll go from there. Okay, so let's start out with the changes that we made to the glass, and by going into the material editor. Uh, Basically, I'm always trying to make sure that the underlying features of both this glass and this Corona material glass here are the same. And except for this map that goes underneath. And so one of the things I worked on to get this a little bit better was that I tweaked the Fresnel reflection IOR in to up to 2.5 from 1.5. This gives it just a little bit nicer sort of kind of look so that it basically gives it just a little bit nicer reflection. It makes it more reflective. So sometimes that glass, when you're using the thin no refraction, will not have enough kind of reflectivity to it. So by bumping that up, you have to be really careful. A little bit goes a long ways. You can make that glass just the kind of right kind of reflection. So that's I changed, and I changed that in both the door glass material and this material down here. Okay, so one other thing that I worked on that is this gradient map. So we've created this gradient map, and I've mixed it with this tile map, which I already showed you one-to-one. Then I've added this gradient map, and so here's the outset that I wanted to do. I made sure that it's not a real real world scale. It's just one-to-one because we want it to apply to each pane of glass. The other thing that I've done is I've set up these colors. This is 230, so it's not full white. And this is just a mid-range, like 11, and then we've got full-on black. And so what this is going to be doing is you notice that this is being pushed into the reflective color. So where it's white, it's going to be most transparent. Where it's dark, it won't be transparent, and then the diffuse color will show through. Okay, so this is some of the things that I've done here is clamp the position to 96, But the real trick here is to go into the output. So yours might show up as the output down here. Just expand that. Then I enabled the color map. And then what I did is I added a point. So I just clicked on this, clicked here and added a point. And then I dragged that point up so that this thing, just by clicking on this, so I can click and move this, and then I just drag this up here so that I get this really sharp. So it's going to be white, 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 and then right at that edge, right at the very bottom, it's going to transition into that opaque piece. If we didn't do that, then most of the glass would have this kind of filmy sort of look to it. Okay, so that's the main things for the glass. Okay, so let's get into a couple of other things that we're going to get to do. The main thing I want to do is show you how to distribute objects onto a surface here, and using corona scatter. It's very simple to do. That's what this corona scatter is here. So if we select it, you'll see that that we've developed this scattering. So what I'm going to do is there's two parts to this, and you're going to have to develop, follow a couple of video tutorials to install some plugins, which are the grass generator plugin. And once you do that, there's a video link on the playlist that will show you how to do that. Very simple. Once you do, we're going to create some grass. And although if you download the file, you don't have to worry about creating the grass because they're already created here. Sorry for the flicker. I don't know what the heck is going on here. Graphics card. So we've just created some grass materials, and the way we do that is, let's go here. There we go. Let's see, did I do the planes? Okay, so what we're going to do, let's switch this to wireframe.